afternoon. It's a beautiful day in Colorado, and we're gonna have some rain or snow mix coming later, but it's dry, and I thought I'd get out here and shoot. Have an arrangement set up down the range to do some shooting here, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about double action, single action pistols. I have some of the pistols on the market today. So this is a Beretta LTT Elite. I have done the trigger work, and I have the short reset trigger bar in here from Langdon Tactical and stock sights, and we're going to see how this bad boy shoots. We have a CZ SP01. I did the Cajun trigger kit for I want to say it's for self-defense, and I replaced the trigger that comes in with that hook with the old style trigger. This one has TFO Pro sights on it, or TFO sights on it. Very nice sights, and she's a beauty. And this here is a Sig P226. It was a TAC Ops. I replaced the grips with the E2 grips. It has the PSAIT trigger, which is the Legion trigger. I don't think they sell it under that name anymore, but Gray Guns. It has a Gray Guns P Master Series kit. It has Trijicon HD sights, and it is finished by Robar in tan with MP3 coating on all the parts except the trigger, which it replaced after I got it. So none of these are stock. So this is tuned by me with LTT Langdon Tactical upgrades, tuned by me with Cajun upgrades, tuned by me with Gray Guns upgrades. So none of these are stock pistols. And then of course you know about my carry pistol, which I shot out here last time, which is the CZ P01 decocker with Cajun Gunworks upgrades done by Cajun. So and with the sights I did replace with the True Glow, the TFX Pros, and I did replace the grips that I had last time just to get a little bit fuller feel. So anyway, the topic at hand is double action, single action dead as a carry gun or a service gun? And you know, the US Army just went to the P320, and you know, so striker fire is all the rage, but to me these guns are classics, and I'm going to shoot them and talk about why I like them so much. I'm going to run one mag through each gun using this rest and this target right here. Oh, he's having a hard time with the ammo. That's not good. Again, not target ammo, and I'm not a grip shooter, but 25 yards, I'm definitely not a group shooter. Mostly A-zone, a couple outside. Clearly I'm not a group shooter at all, but first rounds after a ton of coffee. I'm not exactly happy with the bag setup, but we'll get better. And we're a little over 25 yards, but let's see how it goes here. Oh, jam. Another jam. Double. Runs fine on single. Okay. Malfunction. Malfunction. Yep. 534, but I slowed down. So we ran 250 through the Beretta, and now we're going to run 200 through the other two, and the P226 is next. And this gun is iconic, old school, been around forever. This is the TAC Ops type frame, which is really the Elite, with the difference of, you know, they have their different grips and their different mags. For this range session, I'm just running it through. It's with the E2 grips, which I really like on the Sigs, and 18 round Nightguard mags. Same ammo I've been using with the Beretta. No changes have been made to this gun from the last time I shot it. It has the PSAIT trigger in it. It has the P-Series, Grey Guns P-Series Master trigger kit. The PSAIT triggers from Grey Guns. Has the Grey Guns guide rod, Grey Guns recoil spring. It has a Trijicon HD sights on it. It has the finish by Robar, which is the tan finish. I can't remember which, they're T2 poly or something like that. And then it has a MP3 coating on all the everything except the slide and frame, with the exception of the trigger. The stock trigger had the coating, and when I replaced the stock trigger with the PSAIT trigger, it's the standard finish that comes from Grey Guns. So for all intents and purposes, it's a very legionized handgun in a lot of ways, and I'll be curious to see if it eats the ammo better than the if there's an ammo problem or a trigger bar problem. But there it is. All but one are in the alpha, so you can tell right here I'm not a great group shooter, but it's not magically better than the M9. Presentation. 415. One out. That was one of my hip shots. All the rest are alphas. Okay. 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 Nice. So that is 200 rounds. 200 rounds through Mr. 226. Now we're doing the CZ SP01, and as I said before, I did the different trigger here. I took out the curved one that was all nasty curved and brought in this one. I think this is a Combat 85. I also did the work on the internals, put in the kit from Cajun. It was a ton of work because the decockers are hard to work with. Hammer, all that stuff is done to it. Has different springs in it, different sights. I'm running these TFX sights. The pros with the orange came out just after these were put on, which is a bummer, but you know, that's fine. And we're going to run this through the same kind of drills and see how it stacks up against the Beretta LTT and the Sig P226. Let's go see what we got. A little more to the left, strangely. I wonder why. But looks like the best group of the day is just a little to the left. So let's see what that's about. Important to note that there's a weight difference between the SP01 and the other two pistols. The other two pistols have an alloy frame, and the SP01 has nothing alloy about it. It is all steel, so quite a bit heavier, which helps a lot with felt recoil. So speaking of felt recoil, here we go. Let's enjoy some felt recoil. Let's see how it does. That's a 2 alpha. Missed one. That was 109. Okay. Bill drills, all alphas except for one, and all headshots good. Okay, 408, all rounds in the A zone except for the hip shot first. So that's 300 rounds, sorry, 250, 200, 200 for a grand total is, what does that make it, 650. You can see the target's got holes in them now, and I got a ton of brass to pick up before the rain comes. Just want to say, love each one of these guns for different reasons. Ergonomically, great gun, a little bit more muzzle flip than I really care for sometimes, but I mean, this thing is dead on, and for close-in action, this is hard to beat. This is your best all-around, close-in and distant, but you're going to pay for it by weight. So if you're carrying, it's heavy, but this does everything well. Close-in, distance, just remember it's a brick. You can use it as a last ditch, as a weapon all by itself with no bullets. Again, this is a great gun, nothing wrong with it, just it does close in works exceptionally well. This guy, kind of an anomaly. I think that the Berettas are outstanding. This one is outstanding, and if I change out this trigger bar back to the one I had in it before, 100% reliable. So this gun, I think when it's running 100%, is better than this gun, just by a hair. But the difference is that with this external control stuff, this gun can mess your hands up. This gun is a lot smoother in terms of the external controls. This is the best of all. The decocker sits right here, just like a 1911, and it's a push down, just like a 1911. Decocker sits in front of the slide release, and it's a push down. That's a good design. This is weird. Beretta, I don't know why you did it that way, but I'm glad we can get it in a decocker now, because the decocker safety model, in my opinion, sucked. And I can't tell you how many times I left it on safe on accident, or slipped to safe when I was going through a course of fire and slowed me down. But of course you saw it slow me down today with the malfunctions. We'll get that fixed. Why double single over double only, or sorry, why double single over striker fire or single action? For me, single action with a safety requires that you train a lot with the safety. I know a lot of guys who do that, and they are quite well versed at it. They only carry single action guns, and so that's good. Anybody who's an aficionado like me that likes different guns, I don't want to have to remember. So that's one reason why single action isn't a carry gun for me. I have to say, single action triggers, especially on 1911s, are, in my opinion, the best triggers on the planet. But my opinion. But anyway, that's my story as to why I don't carry single action. Striker fire, incredible guns. Love the triggers, love the guns, have a bunch, carry them all the time, have nothing wrong, no issues with them. Have a P365 in a pocket holster right now, and you know, they're great guns. Carry Glock 19, carry a CZ P10C, carry a P320 compact. You know, no problem with those guns. They're great guns. The trigger action's the same every time, but you will never get to a single action trigger. You can get close, but you'll never get to one of these single action triggers on a striker fire gun. So why double single? For me, the double has to be intentional. So when you're pulling it, you're pulling that trigger, it's a little bit longer pull, so it's safer in some regards. Now, I know the internet commandos will tell me that it doesn't really matter, and that, you know, you intend to pull the trigger when you get your finger on the trigger anyway, so why worry about it? And all I can say to you is, if you've been in a deadly force situation and you've shot somebody or been shot at, and you had, you know, some gunfight experience, and you tell me that, I'll listen. If you've never had gunfight experience, you're just like me, and we're theorizing. So I've had force on force with airsoft guns. I'll tell you, I never remember pulling the trigger when it's a stress situation. I just remember the fact that I'm engaged. I can see it go in slow motion, and I see everything happen. So to me, this trigger is a kind of a hybrid, you know, safety and extremely good single actions. I carry both. You know, I'm carrying a CZ P01 right now, which you saw me shoot last week, a couple weeks ago, and I will carry any one of these guns. This gun not so much because it's heavy, but you know what, if I'm going somewhere and I need a full-size gun, if I'm on security detail, or if I'm protecting a church, or whatever the case, I will carry a full-size gun, because they have greater sight radius, greater capacity, they're heavier, all those things. But you know, compacts are just about the same, and subcompacts these days are great. But anyway, hope you liked the video. If I had to say, all around best gun, runner-up, third place when it comes to close-in action, number one or two, or these two tie for one. You're close. When it comes for overall function, carry, controls, ease of use, this one wins. So that's my 2 cents. Hope you liked the video.